Imagine a quiet suburban life shattered by a brutal crime. This is the story of Betty Gore and Candy Montgomery. On the night of June 13, 1980, Betty Gore's lifeless body was discovered in her home, a sight so horrific that even the bravest men averted their eyes. The small utility room where Betty was found was a scene of chaos, with blood covering almost every surface. Betty's left arm lay in a pool of blood, and her face was a gruesome sight, with one eye wide open and the other half of her face seemingly gone. A heavy, wooden-handled axe was found near her body, leading police to question how someone as small as Candy Montgomery could wield it so brutally. Candy Montgomery, a loving mother and devoted wife, seemed like the perfect suburban housewife, but she harbored a dark secret. Candy and Betty first met at a church service, and their relationship, which began with closeness, eventually turned into mutual hatred. The Methodist Church of Lucas was the center of Candy's universe, a place where she found community and purpose. The country, as the residents called it, was a place of escape from the urban problems of Dallas, offering quiet and solitude. Candy's life took a turn when she decided to have an affair with Betty's husband, Alan Gore, after a seemingly innocent bump on the church volleyball court. Candy was explicit about wanting an affair to shake up her boring life, seeking transcendent sex and fireworks. Alan Gore, though not conventionally attractive, shared a lot in common with Candy, making him an ideal candidate for her affair. Their flirtation began subtly, with jokes and winks, but soon Candy couldn't stop fantasizing about Alan. One night after choir practice, Candy boldly confessed her attraction to Alan, leaving him shocked and flattered. Alan, though initially hesitant, was intrigued by Candy's directness and began to think about her more and more. Candy's marriage to Pat had settled into a routine, and she was bored, seeking excitement and adventure. Alan and Candy's affair was meticulously planned, with ground rules and logistical details worked out to avoid getting caught. Their first rendezvous at the Continental Inn was a mix of nervousness and excitement, with Candy preparing a special lunch and wearing a seductive nightgown. The sex was gentle and satisfying, and both Candy and Alan felt a sense of relief and exhilaration afterward. Their affair continued at the sleazy Como Motel, where they met every other week, enjoying each other's company and the thrill of their secret meetings. Despite the excitement, Candy began to have second thoughts, fearing she was getting too emotionally involved with Alan. Alan, too, started to feel guilty, especially after Betty's aggressive sexual advance, which he couldn't reciprocate. Betty's despondency and physical ailments added to Alan's guilt, making him question the affair. Alan and Candy's relationship became more about companionship and emotional support, with less focus on sex. Candy's powers of deception were tested when she threw a baby shower for Betty, maintaining her composure despite the affair. Betty's pregnancy brought her and Alan closer, but the affair continued, though it became lackluster and filled with guilt. Alan's new job and the demands of his family made it harder for him to see Candy, leading to more tension between them. Candy and Alan eventually decided to end the affair, realizing it was affecting their marriages and causing too much emotional turmoil. Both couples attended marriage encounter sessions, with Alan and Betty experiencing a life-changing weekend that brought them closer together. Candy and Pat's marriage encounter session was less transformative, but they still felt a sense of peaceful happiness heading into the summer of 1980. The story of Betty Gore and Candy Montgomery is a chilling reminder of how seemingly perfect lives can be shattered by hidden desires and dark secrets. Stay tuned for the conclusion in Love and Death in Silicon Prairie, Part 2, The Killing of Betty Gore. This is a story you won't forget.